What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, it's going to be in honor of the Bell Let's Talk. I'm just going to be sharing some of the ways that I cope with my depression. I've had depression for a couple of years now. I used to take medication for it, citalopram, but I don't take it anymore. I took it for like 2 years and then I got off of it. The way the medicine worked was, it was basically to even out emotions, but yeah, I got off that. So I'm just going to be sharing a few of the ways that how I cope with my depression, and hopefully this video will be able to help other people who are struggling with mental illness. So I wrote everything down on my phone, so if I look down, that's why. I'm just trying to keep everything organized, make sure I don't forget nothing. Okay, so let's get into the video. So first, when it comes to my depression, a lot of it is me having to force myself to do things. And I mean like force myself. Like when I feel like being alone, I have to force myself to talk to people, force myself to be around people, because I feel like the most dangerous thing you can do is allow your depression to control you. So I try to do the opposite. So if I want to be alone, just try to surround yourself with people. When you don't feel like getting out of bed, get out of bed. When you feel like just sleeping all day, don't sleep all day. Find something to do. Just doing the opposite of like whatever negative feelings you are feeling. The thing is, like, it's not gonna make the feeling go away, but it can help, because I feel like if you just keep feeding into it, then it's like, how's it gonna get better? You know what I mean? Another thing that really helps is not keeping everything bottled up inside to yourself. It helps to have somebody you can talk to, whether it be a friend, family member, whether it be like a therapist, if you can find a therapist, or there are hotlines you can use where you can talk to somebody, because I feel like when you hold things in, it just builds and builds and builds and builds, and it's like there's only so much somebody can, keep inside. And it's just, for me, when I was doing that, it would just build until it all just comes crumbling down one day, just have a mental breakdown. So for me, it helps if I talk to somebody about like how I'm feeling or what I'm thinking, and it makes a big difference. It does make me feel better rather than holding everything in. There are times where I find myself thinking really negatively, like just negative thoughts. And the one thing that, whoa, I look so tired, sorry. The one thing that I just try to do is I try to stop myself and start switching those negative thoughts into more positive ones. So for example, if I'm feeling like, I can't, I'll never know how to ride a bike. This is just an example. I know how to ride a bike, but if I'm thinking like, oh, I'll never be able to ride a bike, then I try to like stop myself and be like, I can ride a bike. I'm gonna try to learn how to ride one. It's just about like turning negative thoughts into positive ones, because it's like, if you just sit there and you're thinking like negatively, I feel like, how are you gonna be happy if you're just thinking negatively, So I just try to like say the opposite of whatever negative thought I was thinking in a more positive way, if that makes sense. Another thing that helps me is if I'm my own personal cheerleader in my head. So, for example, instead of telling myself I can't do this, I can't do that, I tell myself I can do it, I can do this, I can do that, just being like kind of cheering for myself, and not like dragging myself down really helps. Another thing that helps me is writing down poems. So basically finding a hobby that you can do in your spare time whenever you're feeling depressed, something that can make you happy. I really like writing poetry. It's also a way for me to organize my thoughts and feelings, and it's kind of a way for me to like release whatever I'm feeling on the inside. I also like drawing, so like I'll do that too, like when I'm feeling depressed. So just find a hobby, something you can do to like kind of like get your mind off of how you're feeling. There is another point I wanted to make. I'm just trying to find it. So one thing, sorry, I'm like, it's kind of unorganized. Okay, so I feel like another thing that really helps me is not dwelling on the past, because the past can't be changed. Just focusing on like what can be changed, you know, because I feel like there's some things in life, circumstances or whatever, situations that you kind of have no control over. So I don't dwell on those kind of things. I just kind of focus on what I can change, because the things you can't change, like what are you gonna do? Okay, I feel like another thing that helps is remembering that you're not the only one going through problems. Like everyone, even no matter who the person is going through some sort of problem, you know. So it's not just only me, you know. And I feel like for me, my depression, I feel like is more of a mental kind of thing. And I want to be in control of my mind. I don't want my mind to control me, you know. So that's just the way that I try to think about it. But those are basically my tips for how I handle mine. What works for me may not work for everyone, so I feel like don't just try out different ways, you know. Don't like give up, you know. You'll find something that works for you. I'll leave links at the end of the video to resources that can help anyone who is going through this. And yeah, just keep pushing through. That's all for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.